Hey guys, it's BTad. If you're enjoying the content here on the channel, consider supporting on Patreon for as little as $1 each month. Links and credits can be found in the description. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV and a brand new Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered supply drop opening. In today's video, I've got 631 depot credits. I tried to get to 630 so badly, but looks like we're going to be left with one depot credit remaining after opening 21 rare supply drops here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm also going to be combining my regular depot update video into this video, so this one's going to look very long, but the depot opening will only last about maybe 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes of the video itself. And then the remainder will be like the depot update itself. So usually I do a depot update and I go through all of the items in the game, all of the new weapons and kits and camos, and go, okay, well, we're going to look through all of these, and I describe them all and give you guys my best interpretation of what these things are going to be like. But it's come to my attention that that video is very similar to what I do usually towards the end of my supply drop openings. So I do my supply drop openings, and then I usually go through and I look at all of the new weapons and all of the new kits and camos that I personally get. But I thought, might as well just cram it all together because I don't really have the time to do both at this point in my YouTube career. So instead, we're going to be doing the supply drop opening first. We're going to hope to get some of these weapons. Well, of course, you can't get weapons in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. We're going to hope to get some of the items for these weapons. Then we're going to do the calculations, figure out what weapons I can buy, what kits and camos I can buy, and I'll also be describing what's going on with kits and camos and first look on this channel throughout this video. But hopefully we can get some of the newer items, we can get some of the newer weapons, and then we'll go through and do the full depot update towards the end of the video. So we've got the new BOS 14 that I really am looking forward to. This is the one that everyone's been talking about, that's been front and center in all of the behind the scenes leaks or whatever we've been getting. We've been getting like animations for this thing. I was really hoping for this to be a burst fire weapon, but it's fully automatic. Again, there's only one burst fire weapon in Modern Warfare Remastered, and something needs to change about that. This one being a bullpup, generally you see bullpups and they have burst fire capabilities. I was really hoping for this to be a burst fire because the M16 is a great burst fire. I'm a burst fire weapon kind of guy, burst fire assault rifle kind of guy, and I was really hoping for a new burst fire to kind of rival that M16 without being as toxic as the M16 is, because the second you use an M16 in this game, everybody hates your guts. So I really wanted to get a new burst fire. Of course, we didn't get that with the BOS 14, but it is fully automatic and it's freaking overpowered as all hell, at least from the amount of times I've been killed with it. It's got increased damage on the first 5 bullets, so we're going to have to do some extensive testing on this one when I do unlock it for Is It OP. We've also got the new Fang 45 submachine gun and the Prokolot pistol. Now these two, these were very interesting because these weren't actually in any kind of leak. For the most part, every other weapon that's been in this game, like the PKM light machine gun, the MAC-10, the D25S, even like stuff from further back in Operation Arctic Wolf, we had the XMLAR, we had the Kamchatka 12. All of these items were more or less leaked months ahead of time, and this is the first time where we've actually seen weapons added to the game which we didn't actually know about. I don't think there was any leaked files on the Fang 45 or the Prokolot, or I would have seen people talking about them. I personally probably would have been talking about them if I had seen them, but no one's been talking about these things, like a 3-round burst fire pistol, an SMG that's very similar to the UMP45, I would assume. It actually looks a lot like the car from Titanfall 2 and also Titanfall 1, if I'm not mistaken. It looks very similar to the car. It feels like it performs a lot the same from what I've seen in game anyways. So these two weapons are very strange, very foreign in that nobody really knew that they were going to be added into the game, unlike the BOS 14, which we've known about for quite some time. But very interesting to see that they're finally finding ways to hide new weapons from these guys that have been leaking all of the new weapons. They did also leak new attachments, which still haven't been added to the game, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. For now, you're going to hear the clicking of my controller. You might hear a little bit of crackling and stuff. This is a live commentary, after all, with live reactions. But we're going to hop back here. We're going to open up some supply drops. There's Mr. Graves there. So we had a bunch of new items added. I think there's now 66 collections in Operation Lion Strike. So they added around 40 some collections. And of course, the Operation Bounty, the very final one, is Captain Graves. So in Shamrock and All, we had the Shamrock and All character, which is Graves dressed up in like his Irish or Scottish or whatever outfit. whereas this one is actually Graves as you see him in the Quartermaster. So that's kind of got me thinking maybe we're going to see more operations, like are we going to see more operations added for the time being, because that seems like a pretty finite item to unlock. But we've also got, like Arctic Wolf was the final camouflage, the final unlock for Operation Arctic Wolf. This is the final unlock for for Operation Lion Strike. So we're not going to see any more Lion Strike items. But the thing is, I thought there was only going to be 64, there's 66, so there's really no cap on what they can do with future operations. But we do have that Graves character. I probably won't ever unlock it, especially with the limited time that I have to play the game at this point, especially when I'm jumping between other games and stuff. But 66 total collections. We've got so much to unlock here. I still have a whole bunch to unlock in Operation Arctic Wolf, but we're starting with Lion Strike today. I've got about 21 rare supply drops to go, and we're going to start with our first rare supply drop. So hopefully we can get some of the newer items, some of the items that we need for like the Prokolot or the BOS 14. And if you actually pay attention to the top, those are 2 duplicates right off the bat. I don't actually mind about the duplicates if I get enough parts that I can really go back and purchase whatever weapons I want. But if you actually look at the top of each of these little boxes that pop up, the items that you get, it says like high-tech, warface, frag. We want things up there to say BOS 14, we want them to say Prokolot, we want them to say Fang 45, or we want them to say D25S, because I still don't have the D25S. I've got like 1 item out of that collection, and we're off to a pretty shady start here. I usually get an epic in my first couple openings, and we're still just grabbing those legendaries. We've got a legendary shotgun camouflage here, which is part of the Decay collection, which is pretty nice. So there's one thing. The thing is, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with first look camouflages and kits in the future. We've got a caveman character there. We've got an epic, 2 epic duplicates, so that's quite a bit of extra parts. Oh yeah, okay, so we're already at 1,300 parts. We started around 100 parts, so that's not too bad. I don't mind getting all those extra parts if I can just go ahead and purchase whatever weapon I want. The thing is, I already have that Gila camouflage. I'm really going to be focusing on trying to get whatever weapon I can that I can afford for the least amount of salvage. I'm not sure if I want to buy, like, I don't know which one of these new items that I want to buy. I really want to get the BOS 14 because I've heard so much about it, and like for the longest time I've just been sitting here hearing about the BOS 14, so it might be very interesting to try and check that one out. But the Prokolot though, the 3-round burst pistol, it's going to be very similar to the Raffica or like the B23R or maybe the RK5 from Black Ops 3. We haven't seen a 3-round burst pistol in this game, so that would be very interesting as well. But as I said, first look camouflages and kits, we need to talk about that a little bit. Reactive, I will take that actually because I'm looking for that reactive kit at some point. But first look camouflages and kits, I'm not really sure what I'll be doing for that. I might just be covering the ones that I personally really enjoy. Before I was always covering the legendary and epic first look camouflages and kits. I was making those videos as secondary uploads each and every day. Nowadays with my work, I don't really have enough time to even make 1 video a day. I'm struggling to make 1 video each and every day, so trying to do 2 videos every day is very, very difficult, and I won't be able to do, even though the first look camouflages and kits are pretty straightforward, pretty simple, I won't be able to go ahead and make those videos as double uploads every day. So instead of doing all the legendaries, D25S, that's what I'm talking about, and War Torn, now that's actually a pretty nice epic camouflage right there, but instead of doing all of the legendaries, epics, and bounties, I might just go ahead and start covering the items that I personally really enjoy. So I'll probably, there's a Prokolot camouflage, that's actually a combat uniform, so a legendary item from Prokolot, that's really great. We want to get the legendary and epic items from each of these weapons. Those are the things that cost a whole bunch of salvage or a whole bunch of parts that you want to get out of the way with the supply drop opening. So that's a good Prokolot item to pick up. D25S, we've got the epic character, Furrow. So I should be very, very close to being able to purchase the D25S at this point. I know it's kind of old news, but I still haven't got it, and I'd like to cover it at some point on the channel. A couple epics coming up here. Now, as I said, I'll probably be doing like the camouflages and kits that I really, really enjoy. So I'll still be doing Is It OP with the new weapons. I think that's a really hot series on my channel. But it's when it comes to first look kits and camos, they are picking up traction. A lot of people are really starting to enjoy them. But some of those camouflages, like, it's a lot to make a full video on some of those camos when they're super simple and there's nothing really to talk about with them. Like, there's a couple camouflage that you're looking at them like, do I really need to make a video on this? Like, the camouflages, for example, Ruin. That's a rare camouflage. We wouldn't actually cover that one on the series. But say, for example, that was a legendary. I'd be like, okay, well, it's blue. Like, what can I say about it for like three minutes-ish about how it's a blue camouflage? So some of them I can do like a little bit of a backstory or whatever, but a lot of camouflages, it's a lot of time and effort for such a small amount of views, such a small piece of content on my channel. We've got the emoji for Ghost. All right, cool.
Something good here.
So for some kits and camos, I'm going to be doing the ones that I really enjoy. So I'll probably do like reactive kit. Like there's another combat uniform for the reactive kit, which is pretty sweet. So I'll probably do like stuff like for the reactive kit, which is like something that I really am looking forward to trying out. Maybe like there's another kit that I got in the last one. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like a really flashy kit for the assault rifles that a lot of people have been asking me to cover. So I'll be covering that one. Like time and time again, I'll come back and I'll cover like the really big, really important ones that I'm actually personally looking forward to. But in terms of covering absolutely everything, I'm not really sure what I can get into. So I'm just kind of stretched for time right now, and I think I'd rather make full-bodied content videos, like 10+ minute videos with like a topic to discuss and to get you guys talking about in the comment section. I think I'd rather be doing that than making first like camouflage videos, because it's like one or the other at this point. It's not like I can do both. So if I can do one or the other, I'm going to do the bigger videos. But that's just a little update for you guys on First Light Kits and Camouflage, because it has a lot to do with the supply drop openings. Just thought I'd bring that up. We got the Epic Combat Uniform from the BOS 14. Let's go. We have 2 more supply drops to open here. We finally got a BOS 14 item. It's been so long. We've been sitting here waiting for those BOS 14 items. There's a D25S Legendary Calling Card, which I already have. So that's actually 3 duplicates right there. I'll take it. That's quite a bit of salvage. I'm already up to like 6,000 salvage here. Considering there's so many different new add-ons. Okay, a bunch of rares and comments for my last one. That's unfortunate. But considering there are so many items that have been added to the system, it's really strange that I'm getting so many duplicates, right? Because there was only 20-some kits in, or 20-some collections in the Lion Strike before this update, and they added in like 40 collections, and each of those collections has 7 items in it, 6 to 7 items in it. So there were all of the items that I didn't get before. I only had like 6 collections complete. I might have had like maybe half of the items from before. So say I had, out of 20 collections, I had half of each of the items in each collection. They've added now 40 more collections, so there's 40 collections and half of the items from the first 20 collections all in there, all in the loot pool, but I'm still getting like a ton of duplicates. It's just kind of strange how that works out. I feel like there might be some kind of algorithm that guarantees that you will be paid out a duplicate every now and then, but we're going to head into our collections now. Obviously, we didn't finish any collections just from the opening of those supply drops. To finish collections, we actually have to sit here and go through and figure out what we're close to completing. I feel like I'm very close to completing my D25S. So we're already at 3 out of 6. This one's only going to be, yeah, it's very cheap for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this. I don't even need to do the math. It's very cheap for this D25S right now. Only like 500 salvage. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that one. We got the D25S sniper rifle. Is it OP episode coming soon, hopefully. We still have 5,000 salvage left, so let's see what other weapons we have. The Diabolical is a new melee weapon. Like I said, I'll do the actual depot update towards the end of the video. But I'm heading through here. I'm looking for those new weapons. Fang 45, we got absolutely 0 items from that collection, of course. So that one will be very expensive to get my hands on. And a lot of those items I could care less about. Like, I'm not going to use that reticle, that emblem, that calling card. Like, I don't really care about any of those. Like, even the combat uniform, the character, all of this stuff is completely obsolete to me. Even that camouflage, really, if I'm not going to be covering first a camouflage, that's not a very nice looking camouflage in my opinion. Yeah, it's okay, it's got those bullseyes on it, but the only thing that I care about in this entire collection is Fang 45, and it's very expensive to purchase all of these items just to get that submachine gun. So we're going to skip out on the Fang 45 for now. Let's go ahead down here and take a look what's going on with the Prokolot pistol. I'm also looking for very nearly complete collection. So like instead of 3 out of 7, if I had like 5 out of 7, even 4 out of 7, I might be able to purchase something for very, very cheap, because I usually have good luck with getting items like epic and legendary items, and then I only have the rares and the commons to buy, which are pretty cheap and you can get them for pretty quickly and easily. So I didn't get the epic item, which is a machete, so the Prokolot is basically off the table. The epic melee items are the most expensive part of purchasing any kind of weapon. Generally, every time they add in weapons, they add in one bounty weapon, which requires the purchase of an epic melee item. Epic melee items range from 3,600 to 7,200 salvage, and that's very, very expensive. So you're really hoping to get this one out of a supply drop, and that's actually why if I head back here to Operation Arctic Wolf and way down here to the Kamchatka 12, this is why I don't have the Kamchatka 12. Obviously, I don't have any of the items at all, but I could sit here and purchase all of these items, but the thing is, that sickle is holding me back. 3,600 for that sickle, that's a ton of salvage that I could be using in better places. So the same thing with this new Prokolot. There is a melee item in there, which is really strange. You think that they would put the melee items with the bigger, more wanted item. Like, I can't believe that there's as many people out there like me that want to purchase the pistol. Like, this was the weapon that I'm actually looking forward to the most, because it's that 3-round burst fire pistol. Looks super badass. I really want this thing, but I can't imagine a whole lot of other people want them, because sidearms are basically... you're not using your sidearm as much in this game, right? So I can't believe that as many people want to purchase this. So why did they put the most expensive item on this collection? You think that they would put the machete on the BOS 14 because that's the weapon that everybody wants. You think that they would weigh that one down and say, "Oh, you want the BOS 14, you better buy some supply drops because you're going to have to be able to get all that salvage so you can purchase the machete." But instead, it's on the pistol of all things. So that's kind of screwing us out of getting the Prokolot. Heading down here, I got a couple items from the reactive set, which is one of those kits that I would be covering. Like, look at this thing. This is like the most badass set of weapons, or of a badass kit for your weapons that I can ever imagine. Really, really cool looking. It's pretty cheap. I'm going to see what I'm at after the BOS 14, because I think I'm probably going to purchase that one. I got the epic item from the BOS 14, I believe, so it shouldn't be too bad to purchase. Heading back down here, though, I'm looking for anything else, anything new. Urban Warfare is basically like that reactive, but for, or not, or Urban Warfare, where is it? It's not Urban Warfare, it's not War-Torn, very similar to this. Urban Warfare is kind of like War-Torn for the shotguns, but there's a new one, Tactical Fighter, that's the one, for assault rifles. So it's very, very expensive, of course. I don't have the epic item, I don't have the legendary, even though that legendary item is pretty cheap, but I don't have the epic item. This one, though, like, look at how badass this looks. Like, that's basically your tactical, or not, your reactive from the SMGs, but on the assault rifles. All of the assault rifles look super, super sweet. Even the BOS 14 there, the M16. Again, it's the M4 that takes the show. Look at how cool that weapon looks. And I really want to get this one, but it's going to be pretty expensive as well. After I purchase this this BOS 14, I'm not really sure what we're going to be getting into in terms of how much salvage I'll have left. So we're going to head back in here. I'm actually going to take a look at Operation Arctic Wolf. I think... Now, the only item I need in Arctic Wolf now is that Kamchatka 12, the only new weapon that I need. So I don't have any items for that, so I'm not even going to go bother to look at how many salvage I need to spend on that thing. Caveman, I'm getting pretty close, but that's just a melee item. I think I've pretty much made up my mind. We're going to go with the BOS 14. It shouldn't be too bad. We've got, what, 775. That's about 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700. We're looking around like 2,500 after all of those 65s add up to get the BOS 14. But man, the way that I've seen people using this thing in game, it is 110% worth it. People have just been kicking my ass with this gun in game. So we're going to go ahead and actually purchase the BOS 14. So there we have it. The new assault rifle is prepared. We're going to be doing an Is It OP episode on that very soon. Take a sip of my supply drop opening coffee here. Not to be mistaken with my daily coffee. Every time, little fun fact for you. Every time that I do a supply drop opening, it's not even conscious. I make a coffee before I make a supply drop opening. I don't know why I do it, but I do it. But BOS 14, which wasn't even that bad. That was only about 2,000 salvage. We're still 3,000 salvage sitting here. I'm going to see what I can purchase here. So we're going to go down and I'm going to see about some of these more these kits that I really want to see. So we've got battle tested for the pistols. Okay, so that's like your battle worn for your pistols or whatever. Don't really care about that. We're gonna go through and let me see. I'm looking for like weapons. There's a Challenger kit. This is the kit that I mentioned earlier that I will be covering 100% for First Light camos or First Light kits, because this kit looks absolutely amazing. I do have this purchased already. It looks better than it does in the menus in game. It really does look freaking awesome, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. A lot of people have been requesting that I share that one, so I definitely will be sharing that with you guys at some point. Got the Diabolical Melee Weapon, which I don't have any items from. Emojis Etch is completely crap. It's really ugly. Fang 45, like I said, I'm at 0 to 6, and even the legendary item is 1300. It's pretty expensive, but I'm like, even just buying these two items, I'm out of salvage. The epic and the legendary, I'm 100% out of salvage. I don't even think I can purchase both of those together, so I cannot get the Fang 45. Same thing with the new pistol, the Prokolot. I can't even get it. I literally cannot get it because it's too expensive. Like, if I go down here, 3,600. I can't even afford the epic item alone, but I could afford everything else. It's just, I'm gonna pick up Reactive. I think it's a pretty cool looking kit. It's one of the kits that I've been looking forward to the most. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this one. So we're gonna get Synapse, we're gonna get Devise, and we're going to get Neuro. And that's going to be the Reactive kit for our SMGs, because that one looks super, super cool. We still have 2,200, so I'm going to go through. Reptile camo for the sniper rifles looks pretty neat, but the Gila camouflage, which is epic, is very, very similar to it already. So I don't think I really need to go ahead and purchase all of these items just to get the yellow version of this camouflage. What else do we have? We've got calling cards, new melee items. Basically the buzzsaw from Black Ops 3, which I thought was ridiculous in Black Ops 3. The fact that it even made it into this game is completely just stupid. Moving on, we've got Tactical Fighter for the assault rifles, which I still need that epic item. I will not be able to purchase all of these to get my Tactical Fighter, no matter how badly I want it. 2,100, I only have 2,200 up there, so we need something that's very, very close that I can purchase relatively easily. So like War Torn, we're getting pretty close. But do I use my LMGs enough, and is that kit even worth it? It's not very nice if you ask me. So we're going to go through, again, I just back and forth trying to find the best bang for my buck right now. I might even hold on to my salvage and not buy anything if I can't find anything worth my time. So we've got Minerva, which is an okay camouflage for the assault rifles. It's not great, it's not bad, but it's more or less just white and yellow. It kind of looks like Intensity from Black Ops 3. We've got the Mechanic melee item, the Mastercraft assault rifle kit, which is kind of strange looking if you ask me. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to look like. It's kind of just like polished, and I'm not really sure. It's not very nice, and obviously I can't afford it because of the epic item right there. Kill shot for my sniper rifles. I can't afford that, and that is a pretty nice looking kit, but mixing that with camouflage, I'm not really sure what kind of camouflage would go with that kit. And I'm all about that mix and match. So field tested for the sniper rifles. This actually doesn't look that great. It's just kind of like a couple rubber bands on your weapon, and that's all that's different about it. The Fang 45, Ex Libris. I might head back into the Arctic Wolf items and see what we're pretty close to unlocking in Arctic Wolf, because there's really no other great options in here that I can actually purchase. So we might have something pretty close in Arctic Wolf, something that I've been wanting for quite some time. I'm not really sure. So we're at 9 out of 66 collections in Lion Strike. 0 collections in Shamrock and On. I can never finish these collections because you can't purchase items after the event is already closed. And Operation Arctic Wolf, let's take a look. Accolade, okay, we've got nothing really here. Badass motherfucker. I could get this. It's very, very cheap, but I'm using my female characters. I like my female characters a little bit more. We've got Bestiary camo for your shotguns, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. Reticles, which I will not purchase if it comes down to it. If it's the life of me, I will not purchase reticles or camouflages. Competitor shotgun kit, which I can't afford because there's so many items that still need to be bought. I think the Arctic Wolf is actually worse than the Lion Strike in terms of having items with 7 in them, although most of these new collections have 7 items. At first, Lion Strike had a lot of items that had a lot of collections that only had 6 items each, whereas Arctic Wolf has had like 7 items in almost every collection from day one. So it's pretty difficult to finish the collections when it comes to Arctic Wolf. We've got Sar, we've got Deep End, Devil Dog. I don't really care about those characters once again. We've got more camouflages and more melee weapons. The Gravedigger melee weapon, which I could get like super easily, but I despise the Gravedigger, so we're going to pass on that one. I hate running around with a shovel. I feel like the stupidest person on the face of the earth. Like, taking the phrase bringing a knife to a gunfight to the next level. Bringing a shovel to a gunfight. Stupid. But we're heading through here, and I'm not really seeing anything. I've got the Omsk hammer that I could buy, but again, I've got my Shamrock blade from Shamrock and Awe. That would be this one right here, which is like my favorite melee weapon in the game so far, apart from maybe the Gladiator, but the Gladiator is pretty damn expensive, as we can see here. I've only got 1 to 6. I don't have the Epic, I don't have the Legendary. It's a pretty nice melee weapon, though, even though it wasn't loading there for a second. I'm going through, and I'm not really finding anything that's worth my time, unfortunately. So I may just be able to hold on to this salvage for the next time that we do a supply drop opening, and maybe I can use it towards the other weapons that I wasn't able to unlock today. The Widowmaker camo is pretty nice as well, but again, you got to get this Rancor camo, which is basically the same thing for 2100. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to purchase anything else here. I think I'm going to hold on to that 2200 salvage. I wish you could like put that into like a machine and, I don't know, do something with it, like a gamble or something, but you can't. So we've got our new BOS 14. We're at 15 collections, but we're going to head into the Armory, and we're going to take a look at some of the new items that were added with this update. So I don't know what the update number was, but it's a newer depot update. We've got the machete, which is part of that Prokolot kit, of course. It's kind of like a Russian machete, or so the actual in-game description says, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it's part of the Prokolot kit, the Prokolot being a Russian pistol, so it does make sense that we have a Russian machete, which does look pretty cool. I mean, it's not bad, but 3,600 for that thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's not as bad as trying to complete an entire collection to get a new melee weapon, but still, melee weapons are incredibly overrated in this game, if you ask me. There are so many of them, and nobody even really uses them. You just kind of put them on just for aesthetic. I don't see too many people actually pulling them out and running around with them, which is good, but I mean, it just kind of defeats the purpose of them adding in new melee weapons all the time. So we've got the machete, we've got the caveman, which is, I think it was called the obsidian knife when it was being leaked in game code. So obsidian knife, caveman, it's like a rock with a grip on it that you stab people with. The sawtooth, as I said, basically a remake of the buzzsaw from Black Ops 3. I thought it was stupid in Black Ops 3. I doubly think it's stupid now. Why? Why is this in my game? It's the stupidest thing, but we're moving on. We got the, I think it's called like, what is it called? A Karacha knife? I don't know. This is like the knife that you see, Karambit. I think it's Karambit knife. It's like the CSGO knives that you see people like buying or whatever. I guess they sell them on the internet now, or I don't know. I don't see the appeal of these kind of knives. I think they're kind of, I don't know, they're strange looking. I've seen somebody actually using this in game, and it does look pretty cool. Like when you do the inspect animation, you like kind of flip it around your hand. It's kind of neat. It's called the Diabolical. I don't know why they couldn't just call it a Karambit knife or whatever it actually is, but there you have it, another new melee weapon. BOS 14, this one's going to be a pain in the ass to actually go through and test. Increased damage with the first 5 bullets. So I'm already thinking that the way that they need to balance this weapon is by dropping that increased damage. Just make it a regular gun. I don't know how they justify weapons doing more damage with the first couple bullets. Like, did you put hollow points in your first 5 bullets and then just put regular bullets in the rest? Why? Why didn't you just fill the entire clip with hollow points if you want to do more damage to enemy? It's the stupidest thing. I don't know how they justify this actually happening in a real life scenario. I just really wish that with their new weapons that they've been adding into this game, if they were actually taking real world guns and putting them into the game instead of making their own. Like instead of the Fang 45, which I'm sure there's a gun out there that's similar, or like the Prokolot, I'm sure there's a gun out there that's similar, but actually put it in the game as its real world counterpart. Don't put in the Fang 45, put in the UMP 45, because that's actually like a real world gun that they use in Modern Warfare 2, but I guess because they don't want to pay the royalties, they're not getting like for example, you've got like the AK-47. You've got the M16A4, you've got the M4 carbine, you've got the G36C, the P90, the MP5. Those are real world names for those weapons. Those are what those weapons are called in the real world. Is there actually a real world weapon called the BOS-14, or is this weapon actually known as something else in the real world, or whatever it's similar to? Like the PKM is actually the PKP Pechneg. I don't know why they can't just use real world names. Like instead of calling this a thug, why is it a thug? It's like a wrench. Just call it wrench. Like machete actually makes sense because it's a machete, but caveman, call it obsidian knife if that's what it was in the game code. Sawtooth, that kind of makes sense. Samurai, diabolical, just call it karambit or something like that. Like call it like its real world counterpart so that this game actually roots us in reality. That's what was so great about the Modern Warfare games, was they were rooted in reality. They brought us into the modern age and we could actually relate with the weapons and stuff that we were using in those games. So why do we have to have fake names for stuff now? I don't really know, but that's why we've got like the Prokolot and the Fang 45. And we've got these weapons that are doing weird things that they surely don't do in the real world, like doing increased damage with the first 5 bullets on the BOS-14, on the Fang 45, which is the new SMG, which looks incredibly similar to the car from the Titanfall series. I've seen somebody actually aiming down sights with this in game. It's like the car sights ripped straight out of Titanfall, ripped straight from Respawn Entertainment's hands and put into this game. We've got like the Fang 45, and its first 5 bullets have increased fire rate. How is that justified in the real world? Like, does the spring wear out after the first 5 bullets, and then it's like I don't know how they justify these things working. But all they really do is they kind of add in an extra balancing factor, which I guess is good because then they can play around with these certain situational areas of the weapon. But at the same time, really, can we not just have weapons rooted in reality? Because that's what made the Modern Warfare series what it is. But I digress. The Fang 45 SMG, it looks pretty good. I've seen people using it. It's pretty powerful. I've seen people dropping people with this weapon, especially with like the suppressor. The iron sights, like I said, they're like the car iron sights, so very good iron sights. It looks like a pretty damn good weapon. The Prokolot pistol, I think it kills in 1 burst up close. At further ranges, I think it's like a 2 burst kill, similar to like the M16. I guess it's like a 3-round burst, right? So this is the only other burst fire weapon in the entire game apart from the M16. So there's that to look forward to, I guess. Like I said, I really wanted the BOS-14 to be a burst fire weapon, but it's not. And the mechanic melee is older, and we did get the D25S today as well, so hopefully going to get an Is It OP episode out on that very soon. Weapon kits, the primitive weapon kit is like cave drawings, part of the caveman collection, obviously, for your SMGs. Peacekeeper for your assault rifles is kind of like I want to say gunslinger for the pistols, where it's got like the kind of Wild West-ish like ingrained like carvings on your weapon. Like there's little stars and there's like horses and like animals on your weapons. It's an okay kit, but the blue gunmetal looks really good, but I don't really know how it mixes with the wood and the gold. It's all kind of a bunch of really strange colors and textures all coming together. Phalanx, which looks like Greek pottery, like ancient Greek pottery or something like that, like Herculean. Like if you actually like, say for example in Hercules where they show all like the pots, that kind of looks like that from what I'm seeing here. We've got like actually a character fighting what seems to be Medusa on the back there of the light machine guns. That's a pretty cool one actually. We've got boss for the pistols is older if I'm not mistaken. I think this was in the first kit or the first update to Lion Strike. These are older tactical fighter. Like I said, this one looks absolutely amazing on the assault rifles. It's basically the reactive kit from the SMGs, but on the assault rifles it makes them look like super futuristic. It looks badass. I really enjoy this kit, and hopefully I can be able to purchase it in the future because oh my god, it looks so good. Battle tested is basically like battle worn. We've seen it battle scarred for SMGs, battle worn for the assault rifles. I think there's another one for the LMGs. Same thing here with the pistols. This is called battle tested this time. Field tested for the sniper rifles. It's like duct tape and wire. I don't really know what it does. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the battle tested for the snipers, but if it is, it's kind of a letdown because they don't really look like they're that beat up. They kind of just look like they've had a little bit of duct tape work on them. Kingfish for your shotguns is kind of like, again, it's just like that golden, I want to say it's like the SAR kit, but for your shotguns, because it's all that gold and very various gemstones and stuff like that. Urban Warfare for the shotguns, which is kind of, that kind of looks very similar to like Warfighter for the LMGs, which was an Operation Arctic Wolf kit. War Torn, there's War Torn. It's the same as Battle Scarred, Battle Tested, whatever like that, but for the LMGs that time. But that's an older one. Titanium, this is all older, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's it for the kits. So then we go into camos. I'm just gonna skip right down to the legendary and epics. Anything new down there, which of course there's something new, like that kind of looks like nickels and dimes on your shotgun. Signal to noise, we actually got this one for the submachine guns, which looks pretty cool if you ask me. Ruffian, which is kind of like covered in blood. We've got remains, which is again just like polka dots on your sniper rifles. These ones, the Bedlam, and then there's another one later on that you'll find is called Anarchy, and they have like these anarchy symbols on them. Entangled, it's got like spider webs and a bunch of different weird colors. Imprint is part of the BOS 14. It's just got handprints all over it. I think Plated is older, if I'm not mistaken. And Penta is older as well. So they kind of mix them all in here so that they're hard to figure out which is older and what's newer. Feathers, so that's like all steel. It's kind of low light, and there's like peacock feathers on there or something, but they're kind of very, very hard. I guess they're not peacock feathers. They're like some kind of bird's feathers. Just very, very hard to see. Kind of a useless camouflage in my opinion. And then we've got Ciliate, I think is an older one. And moving into epics now, I think Quadrate is new from, oh, that's battle tested, so that can't be new. We've got Ferric from Sawtooth, which is just like blue. I don't really know what's so epic about that. Hide, which is, I don't know, it kind of looks like gemstones a little bit, but it's nothing special. What else do we have? Excess, which is just like golden coins or something, golden coins and gold and silver coins on your LMGs. Again, I don't know what's with the coins being put on our weapons now. Cubed, we've got Phantom for the sniper rifles, which is kind of neat. Kind of looks like smoke, like a yellowish smoke. What else do we have? Coil, we talked about this earlier. It's kind of like bullseye targets on there. We've got circuitry for the submachine guns, which is honestly super ugly. Like, it's very hard to see the circuitry in it. It just mostly looks yellow. In game, I would assume that would be very, very difficult to see. Antagonize, which is like tiger stripe kind of. And then we're into the bounty. So that's older. Operator, again, it's like, it looks the exact same as one of those legendary camouflage that we were just looking at. High tech, which is, I don't know what's so high tech about that. It just looks like blue and black lines to me. Like some of these camouflage, I don't know how they justify putting them in bounty. Like Geist actually looks super cool. It's like a space scene, very, very nice on the sniper rifles. I really like that one. But Rebel, again, see how close Rebel, like this is Rebel on your saw, right? I think it's called the saw. So we've got Rebel, and it's got like the anarchy symbols. It's got a couple other like little graffiti emblems and stuff. Well, if we go back here and we actually take a look at where was it? Bedlam. Is that not the exact same thing, just with less symbols? Like, it looks like the exact same thing with less symbols. So you might as well just get the legendary and like not even worry about getting your way up to the actual bounty kit, because you've already got most of what the camouflage is. Reticles, characters, combat uniforms, calling cards, emblems. We do not care about any of that garbage. So that's going to conclude today's video, guys. I think I've pretty much covered it all. Damn well hope so. We're at like 40 minutes at this point, but I will certainly be working on getting you guys some BOS 14 and D25S gameplay. So we've got the BOS 14 right there, which, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at, oh baby. Yeah, with that exclusion zone camouflage, looks absolutely badass. And then we've got the new sniper rifle, or the semi-new sniper rifle at this point. And we're going to slap that on there too, because I'm a sweaty tryhard and I got exclusion zone, so you know I'm going to flaunt it. So we got the D25S and the BOS 14. I'll be working on Is It OP episodes for those. I'm also going to be working on Is It OP episodes for Infinite Warfare, for the Trencher and the Auger, the two new DLC weapons. and just grinding this game, trying to get more depot credits so we can do another opening very soon. I still need to unlock that Kamchak at 12. I still need to unlock the Prokolot and the Fang 45. So next supply drop opening, considering that they don't actually add in more content, another whole operation before I get to another supply drop opening here, Modern Warfare Remastered, the next one will be split between Arctic Wolf and Lion Strike. But my god, I'm sick of talking at this point. Let's conclude this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I will have these Is It OP episode reviews coming out very soon, so stay tuned for those. Bunch of other Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered goodies coming soon. I've got some Black Ops 3 stuff planned. I've got some Advanced Warfare stuff where we're going to be talking about Call of Duty World War II. Just a whole ton of stuff. Follow me on Twitter at BlackTideTV for the latest updates. Consider supporting me on Patreon. There is a link in the description. You can join the patron exclusive feed and see exclusive behind the scene images and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video.